You are live, Madam Chair. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good evening to the citizens of Douglas County and also to our Fire and EMS Committee. Welcome. Today is September 6, 2022. It is now 2:03
So I gotta
p.m.
go upstairs. Real quick.
Can you all hear me?
Just monitor everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
I wanted to make sure, because I was talking and all of a sudden I didn't see myself on the screen. All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Certainly we'll acknowledge all our members. Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones, the chairman of the Fire and EMS Committee. Are you on here? The vice chair, which is Commissioner Guider.
Commissioner Guider sent a message that she had another meeting and that she would follow back up with us on this one.
Okay, Chief, you can.
Chief Roderick Jolivet, Douglas County Fire.
Next member.
Deputy Chief Lugo, Douglas County Fire.
Okay.
John Reed, Terminus.
Okay.
Frederick Perry, Deputy County Administrator.
Okay. Anyone else? Oh,
Tracy Farmer, EMS Chief.
okay.
I have two other deputy chiefs that have some pressing stuff going on right now, so they probably won't be here.
Okay. All right, well, we do have enough to start, enough members here to start. We do have a quorum. All right, we have the approval of the minutes, the regular minutes. I hope everyone had an opportunity to look at the August 2nd minutes. Did you have an opportunity? Minutes from the August 2nd meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion about the minutes? If there's no discussion, please, if you're in favor of the minutes, please just indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
I threw you all off a little bit this time. I just wanted to do it in unison rather than, all right, any opposed? All right, well, the motion carries for the approval of the August 2nd minutes. All right, we're gonna go into the approval of our minutes, not minutes, we're going to the old business, and I will hand the meeting over to our Fire Chief Roderick Jolivet. We have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. Fellow members, thank you for the citizens for allowing us to serve you. Today we have some information about Station 4. Station 4 is in the process of clearing all the hurdles in terms of the architectural plans, the regular plans that are taking place to get approval to get started. The good thing about Station 4 is that the building that the firefighters are going to be housed in, that building has been shipped, and it should be there within the end of this week. So they're excited about that. I was out there on yesterday, talking to the members, and they're very appreciative of the fact that they're able to get some renovation started out there at the station. So we're looking forward to it. In terms of signage for our community, Communications Director Rick Martin have received some information from our department in terms of mailers and getting that verbiage to where it needs to be, so the citizens will know exactly what we're doing when we start to do it. Mr. Good, as well as the architecture firm, or the contract, I'm sorry, they're getting signage ready to go out on the roadway. So that station is looking good in terms of renovation process, and that's pretty much it on Station 4. Any questions on Station 4 updates? Okay, then our Station 9 updates is Station 9 is coming along in the process of design. I sent out some information to the panel members talking about the option A or option B, and it related to square footage it talked about a estimated cost per square footage of that particular building. It is a 4-bay building, and then there also is a training room out there as well as a stairwell for training. That will save us on fuel costs and also helps on ISO rating. But in terms of discussion, we need to talk about a few things as it relates to that building. And I do have Mr. Terry Gable and Mr. David Good on the line that can assist, as well as hopefully Ms. Bivens is here. If not, maybe Rosalind is out there at Station 9, what's happening at Station 9. So, Mr. Gable, you want to talk a little bit about Station 9 and the proposed options, option A and option B, right quickly?
Yeah, Chief, would be happy to. So the last time I think we brought this before the committee, we had gotten a floor plan that everybody looked at and reviewed, and the architect went back and kind of finalized a preliminary view of it. And that was, he gave us a square footage on that of about 17.2 thousand square feet. And we had a cost on that of $7.5 million for the building, and then some additional cost that we're going to have to incur, and that being part of that, big part of that being the design. And that brought the budget up to $8.3 million. So, and that's where we stand currently. In our most recent meeting with the architect, we had a group that came in, mostly made up of the chief's staff, and we had a face-to-face meeting. I think it was much more productive, and we were able to go through and take a closer look at it. And we've ended up now with that first option, option B, and we've also ended up with a second option that we've labeled option A. And the big difference between the two is going to be, and the chief just mentioned it, is going to be the training room and the training stairwell, which was not included in option B. But that's become a big, what looks to be a big factor for everyone. It's something that I think is a big desire for the chief to be able to add to the building. But what that does, obviously, is it increases the square footage. And so we're looking at two options now. Option B, that we first presented to the committee and to the board with a budget of $8.3 million. And then option A, which when you add those two rooms and that one room and that stairwell, it brings up the square footage to 19.7 million. I mean, 19,713 square feet. That increases the cost of the building to 8.8 million, plus the other fees that go along with that. So that increases the budget up to $9.8 million. So, Chief, with that, I'll turn it back over to you to kind of guide everyone through what we're hoping to achieve, at least from today's meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Any questions for Terry before I discuss it more? So basically, we're at the point where the architect needs to know what option what we would like to go with, so they can go ahead and continue the process in terms of soil sampling and all that kind of thing. So right now, as a committee, we'd like to have a discussion on it to see how we're going to approach this. One thing we did do, I know Terry mentioned it, we talked to our finance, Ms. Rosalind, and also Ms. Bivens, and we asked about the possibility of some monies coming from the cities. And they came up with about possibly $1.3 million that will be available if needed for this project. Right now, this is just the estimate of the budget for the project. As Terry mentioned, But this is an opportunity for us to, capitalize on getting the things we need in terms of a training room out there, as well as a stereo for training and stuff. So we're at the point now where we want to decide, first of all, can we afford it with that extra money possibly available from the city, and if it's something we want to tackle. Option B cuts out the training classroom as well as the stairwell, and they can make other adjustments, and we can stay within the budget. Mr. Good, he may want to chime in as well, talking about the fees and budget, as well as our Chairman Jones.
I'm here, Chief. Yeah, so I do know, going based by what Terry Gabe was saying, going up to, I believe he said 9.8 million. Right now, the $8.3 million budget, I believe that we're good when it comes to $8.3 million budget. But if we're gonna go over that, we have to make sure that we actually have those type of funds somewhere, whether it's coming from the cities. I'm not sure if the 1.3 million is what we have right now, and that does not include the reimbursables that will come later. So that's one thing that I would need to add to the conversation, is how much money would be coming later after this building is built to reimburse us. I turn it back over to you, Chief.
Okay, I yield back to Madam Chair for discussion, and let's talk about best approach going forward with this. Mr. Perry, Chief Phillips has joined us now. Chief Phillips, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
I
you,
can hear
Chief.
you, Chief.
Okay, all right.
But did you have a question for me? I'm so sorry.
I was gonna ask Chief Phillips if he wanted to speak on Station 9.
Oh, yeah, go,
I
let
think
me,
a big fire.
Okay. I'll move out the way and allow him to do that. Hey, Chief Phillips.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, in reference to Station 9, you know, we're excited. We're looking forward to Station 9 being built. And, you know, the information that's coming along, you know, we've looked at the drawings, and we're hopeful that we can keep that, the stairwell and that training room in there. But if not, then of course we'll make adjustments or what have you. But that'd be a real addition to that station, especially for our ISO purposes and our future accreditation purposes. Can y'all hear me?
Thank you, Chief Phillips.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll yield back to Madam Chair to engage some discussion on this. So we have a couple options as well. One option would be to do nothing and stick with option B. Another option would be to look at option A and determine a pathway to get there. Like I said, we started by engaging our finance director as well as Ms. Rosalind. And I don't know if any of them are on the line right now to speak to it. It may be another meeting.
And Chief, I may have missed this, but the modifications that you just mentioned, what was the cost on it?
Okay, I'm gonna pop out and I will
Okay.
see you in the morning.
Okay.
Mr. Gabriel, you want to speak to that?
I will see
Yeah,
you.
so,
How you pronounce your name?
Fred, it's increased the cost, so basically, we're looking at about 1.5 million
Yeah, Twan.
is the increase in the budget. And
Okay, Twan.
the stairwell and the training room is what's driving that.
Speaking with you.
Okay, for a total estimated cost now
Welcome on
of,
your journey, right? Hopefully we'll be bumping into each other a
9.85.
lot more. So I'm gonna go up here and let them
And that's
know.
not the
Leave
architect
and come back.
and construction cost, that's the extra, the reimbursable. Here, and that in there too.
So that 9.8, I'm sorry, that 9.8 is everything. That's That's including the construction, the design, and, furniture. So it'll hopefully be all we need if we can convince ourselves we'll get to that point.
Okay.
And from a revenue standpoint, and David can chime in, I think everybody's happy with our revenues coming in. We hit with the July revenues, we came in we're right at just a little over 150 million that we've collected. So they've really been doing well, and that's what that's what's driving Fire Station 9 now, and kind of tracking these, and the chief is holding back on some things so that we can get through a little bit bigger part of this last year to see just get a better comfort level for our revenues as we start approaching the last quarter of the SPLOST program. So it's looking good. I think the key here, and the chief has mentioned it, is Rosalind and Ramona. I have to weigh in, Fred, on the reimbursables from the cities. That they're, and he mentioned it, they've told us that the balance there is about 1.3 million. If we can utilize that, and that's what the money is there. If we can utilize that and not have to depend on reforecast money at this point, it sure would make things easier to move forward with this option A, knowing that money's there, and we can just add that to our budget of 8.3 million.
Now, one thing I want to say for the sake of time, Ms. Rosalind and Ms. David just text me. They plan on making the meeting. They're just running a little late. So, Madam Chair, if we want to keep moving and come back to it once they're on, that'd be great. It's just up to you, Madam Chair, what you decide.
We can keep moving and then just come back. We'll just come back.
We'll come back to this item.
And we'll return.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All right, moving on to the next old business item is the new ladder truck update. Chief Phillips will give us an update on the new ladder and their trip to Wisconsin.
Good afternoon. The apparatus committee, which is the apparatus committee is Chief Jolivet, myself, and Captain Zach Meyer, and Chris Terry, Sergeant Chris Terry, and our fleet manager Doug Turner. We went to Appleton, Wisconsin for the modification and specification of our new 100-foot mid-mount ascendant platform tower. And what we did was we basically built it from ground up, and what's going to be unique and specific to the county of Douglas County and meet the needs of our citizens. And it was a 3-day trip. It was a grueling process, but I think we got a great product for our organization and for these citizens. And last Wednesday, we met again to finalize the specifications and the modifications right here at Douglas County at our headquarters. And we got exactly what we need. That's going to be, correspondent to this particular county. And I'm excited about it because we're getting the guys and gals more than anything. We're going back to enhancing the quality of life of our citizens and our internal and external stakeholders. So we're looking at the completion date. Once all this finalized, we're looking probably at May of 2023 for our ladder truck is complete.
And
that's 100-foot at mid-mount platform tower.
And just for informational purposes, we were able to secure a $1.1 million grant from the AFG, and then of course thanks to the citizens for the SPLOST to cover the remainder of that particular item. But it's much needed, and it's going to help our ISO as well as our accreditation. So any questions for Chief Phillips on this update on the new ladder truck? All righty. Well, we'll keep moving. The next item will be EMS training for for internal, external stakeholder update. And, Chief Farmer, can back me up on this. We're moving at a high rate of speed in terms of, building our model for the future for our region and for our county. A lot of agencies are having issues with staffing personnel and training personnel in terms of EMS medical. The hospitals are having a tough time, providing services. There was just an announcement of one of our major trauma hospitals being, possibly closing in the Atlanta area. So what we're trying to do is build, internally with our personnel, and we're doing that through a grant that we received. We just need our training personnel to assist with that. And also we're opening it up to external. So Chief Farmer's gonna give us an update on, the upcoming classes happening in terms of EMS.
Good, Chief. The grant funded class is scheduled to start October 17th. We're looking at a total of 24 students. A good portion of those are gonna be, personnel in our fire department that are already fire certified, but are needing their EMS certification. And like the Chief said, we're gonna have the ability to open it up to some members in the community as well. So we're looking forward to it.
Any questions on that one? And I'd like to welcome Ms. Bivens. Ms. Bivens, are you able, you and Ms. Roslyn, hello, are y'all able to circle back? We was talking about, Station 9, update, and, we had talked about, option A and option B. Option A would require additional funds, and we were trying to find a pathway to look at what option would be best for us. Mr. Gable.
Yes, sir.
Can you summarize quickly and for a question for Ms. Roslyn and Ms. Davis? We already been talking to them about it already.
Yes, so, we've got our budget now. We have an original budget, where the most recent budget right now is set at $8.3 million. And, based on our last review from the committee, the chief and staff have decided they want to maintain a training room, a large training room, and a training stairwell. So the architect has done a preliminary design for that and given us a square footage to put those in, and it obviously went up, and that brings from 8.3 million. That brings our budget up to 9.8 million. So we're looking for that. It's a $1.5 million increase in the budget. And Chief and I think he's already had conversations with both of you about the reimbursables, and we're just really looking for a good confirmation of what the balance is and what it may be towards the end of the program, and what monies will be there that we can count on that might take some of the risk or pressure off of us with the reforecast monies that we're basically estimating that we're going to get every month between now and March of next year.
So Rosalind and I are actually working on something for Vice Chair Robinson to present at the next Finance Committee meeting in regards to supplies on where we are and where we might end and what projects we may have to put on hold if we have any extra money. So we'll have that done hopefully before the end of next week, because I need to do the agenda before the end of next week. So I don't know how much time, if this is time sensitive or if it's something that can wait until we get that assessment done or that analysis done. And then we can have a better picture of where we are financially and what funds we have available.
I think that goes hand in hand with the architectural representative. He said that he just needs to know something by when, Terry. Is it by the middle of September or by the end to make a decision on getting those plans ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's a critical point, and it's, obviously, Chief, the sooner the better, because it's right now, the architect's at a point to where he can't do anything else until we make a final decision on a footprint. So, you know, if, based on what Ramona's saying, in the next week would be great if we can get an answer. Ramona, so the package you guys are putting together for Commissioner Robinson, that will include the reimbursables from the cities included in that.
Well, we're doing this on the SPLOST.
So, so I guess the reimbursable account right now it sits at 2.1 million, and that is $7.7 million of expenditures that we sent to the cities. The city of Douglasville takes 23.38%. So they've paid 1.8 million. And then the city of Austell pays 4.22%. So they've paid $326,000, which totals the 2.13 million. So that's how much you have sitting in the bank now.
And Rosalind, this is David Good. So therefore, you'll probably be expecting something on the other end once fire station number 9 is built for future reimbursables, or is that capped at a certain number?
It's capped at the total expenditures cannot go over 20 million. So I guess if you have, and I'm sorry, let me make a change to that 2.1. You guys have spent already 420,000 in that account, and this dates back to 2018. It was for Target Solution training software. It was some turnout gear in 2018, and then the AVL, and then ballistic equipment in 2019. So that totaled 420,000. So the amount that you have to spend is 1.7 million.
Very good.
So if we cap it, so I'm trying to see what you have, and that's what Ramona was saying, that we're still reconciling it, the SPLOS, because it's important to have the total true cost for SPLOS to be able to calculate your reimbursable. Because right now I have that you have about $7 more million left in SPLOS. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to say because it is based off of the revenue, the remaining a few months of the revenue coming in. But if we kind of use that number, 7 million, so that'll be another $2 million.
One thing
Okay.
we're doing is we're watching our spending as it relates to this subject. You know, so.
Yeah, but and this is, I have to talk to Ramona about, but there may be a time limit also on the reimbursable, since we're doing new negotiations with, you know, the new SPLOS has a new intergovernmental agreement, and then also the SDS, where this, I guess, reimbursable account is listed in the agreement. It has an expiration date too, so we probably have to look at all of it, everything.
Carlton, the 1.7 million that you mentioned is the balance. That expiration date won't affect that, or is that not?
That is correct. Yeah, that's in the bank. That's cash in the bank.
Okay.
Madam Chair?
I don't have anything to say. You asked me, did I have any questions?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't have
So,
any.
so where we are right now is, hopefully next week we'll be able to get some more information, more specific information, and then we can decide, we have to do, we'll find out what the timelines are in terms of what they need to know about what option we'd like to go with. And we may have to do a special call or something. It all depends on what his timeline is. We'll double check with Chris, Terry, find out
Yes.
if we have to know something, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. Any other questions or concerns on the Station 9 update? All righty. Thank y'all, Ms. Bivens, CFO Bivens, and Ms. Robinson for that. We'll move on to open site number 4 is the hiring of 2 full-time training medics. Right now we took it to finance for a soft look, in terms of doing some restructuring on our end, and numbers are there. Matter of fact, it's a savings to reduce the positions and go with that. But right now we're in the process of submitting information up to HR, request to fill or create 2 positions, as well as getting that paperwork done, and then we're gonna be submitting that to Mr. Perry for review and all. But those 2 positions are very critical in terms of our grant we received and in terms of our training of our personnel. And you'll find out when we get down to our personnel update, that you're gonna hear some good news about the strategies we're using to get people trained and fill those roles. It's all homegrown. We're taking the people within our community and getting them trained so they can help their neighbors and help the citizens. Any questions about that last item on old business, hiring 2 full-time medics, working training? All right, we'll move on to new business items. And it's gonna go real quickly. COVID-19 update, talk about EMS overview, QRVs. We have some brand new QRVs in town. And Chief Farmer's gonna tell us about the QRVs. I hope she can show us a picture if she can put it up on the screen. At the same time, talk about COVID-19. COVID-19 is real, it's alive. We had a few people in our building that went down this morning dealing with COVID stuff, so it's still around. And we want to encourage everybody to use those, practice those 3 W's, and we'll talk about those. But go ahead, Chief Farmer.
As far as COVID for August, we're looking better. Our numbers are trending down. Douglasville in itself is still running a medium risk. We've only had 2 people in August. 2 of our personnel come down with COVID, and we've transported known 39 patients that are COVID positive. So for us, those numbers are improving, and hopefully we'll see that continue in the fall. I do want to try to share my screen. A quick EMS update. And these are some of the numbers that we're running for EMS. So we track our out of shoot times, those were great. This is what I wanted to point out and kind of show you a trending down as far as units that are out of service and how these are trending down. And when she starts talking about staffing, you'll start to see some really good improvements here. We still are working on our unit hour utilization for our bed units. We need to get these units into a operating practice in this green section here. So we've got 3 of our trucks that are busier than what we need them to be. Some of that's playing into that is wall times. And so these numbers are updated for our wall times. In August, you see it's still trending 512 times we held the wall in the month of August for more than 30 minutes. If you look at the greater than 60 minutes in the month of August, we held the wall more than an hour, 116 times. The equivalent amount of time that we've held the wall so far this year has been 11 weeks worth of time. So it still is impacting our service, and we're still trying to find some solutions for this. I don't have all of my August numbers updated from 911, but you can see, you know, the correlation in the data between this is how many EMS runs we ran in August. Those are a number of patients we transported. Out of those, 512 had wall time greater than 30 minutes. And I don't have the numbers for August for the number of times no EMS units were available, but you look at July of 81. So I'm assuming this number may be a little bit improved, but there is definitely a correlation between our units being held up on the wall and being available to respond to 911 requests for service. So I'm still working on that piece there. That's an overview of the data that we have. Chief, I'm going to take this off for a second and try to find that picture and throw that back up. The QRVs, they are absolutely beautiful. And we're still looking at about 6 weeks out in order to get the camper shells of these QRVs. But when we were showing you those images a minute ago of the unit hour utilization numbers that are trending higher than what we want them to trend, the QRVs are going to play a huge role in decreasing that call volume for those trucks. So we're really excited to get these trucks on the road. And like I said, the only barrier we're really having with those now is finding a camper shell. So, and Chief, we may have to circle back. I'll have to upload these pictures off my phone, so it's going to take me just a minute.
Okay, thank you for that update. We're gonna go on to, let me tell you, the EMS is a thing that's tearing through our community right now. We talk about wall time. I actually went to the ER myself to help our units out, to help give them some support, because our emergency room staff, or if they're wore out and tired, they don't have any whole lot of people to help with what they're doing, so we're trying to work within that system and still take care of people. But we're going to personnel updates. Ms. Paula, give us some good news on our personnel update.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I do have good news. The fire department currently has 12 open positions. Four new team members started today, 2 of which are AEMTs. And as I said, they came on board today, and they're very excited to be here and care for the citizens of Douglas County.
Oh, very good.
So we're still, making headway as far as our recruitment efforts. Really, it's been quite easy because folks have been knocking on the door. There's a wealth of opportunity here, and we're looking forward to getting people on board and knocking our numbers down as far as the vacancies. Just thank you to the Board of Commissioners and the citizens of Douglas County for, the efforts and support that we're getting from you all. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Ms. Paul. I'd like to add this. This turning to be a seamless process. One is because of our HR department. They are doing an excellent job in giving us what we need, doing the research, taking care of personnel. So we just want to take our hats off to the HR department. The other thing is we have some new people that started today. Ms. Paula may have mentioned it. We have people that's already state certified. One is state certified EMTA, which is going to help our new model out. And then we have 3 other people that are firefighter certified, as well as DMT. So by bringing those people in, it's going to be a big boost to us. And normally what it costs to train an EMT is anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. And firefighter, the same, it's about $5,000. But when they bring that experience to us, we're able to take that and teach them our policies, our protocols, and they're able to provide immediate assistance to our citizens. And at the same time, we are looking at a training program that will continue to train the people, that are in-house, don't have the EMT, or the citizens that want to be EMTs. So we're putting all this together, and it's really working. And as a result, Chief Farmer said, it's been years and years since she's seen the numbers down as what they are now. So we're happy about what's going on, and we're gonna continue to keep the process going. Any questions on our update?
Yes, Chief. Quick question. How is monkeypox affecting Douglas County right now?
Chief Farmer, you want to respond to that? Because you got some numbers on that.
So far, there's only been one known case. Now there might be some others in the community, but as far as what we've had reported, it's just been one.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So one thing, Chief, we're doing is making sure our responders are getting all the latest information on protecting themselves and their awareness and all. So those efforts are really working, and we want to try to keep that number down as well. All right, well, we'll move on to the next item. We already kind of took care of this already. Now the Station 9 discussion. I think we feel real comfortable with that. So we're gonna move on to new business item number 5, which is new tanker. New tanker, we have some discussion about that our last EMS committee meeting. Me and Mr. Good have actually been talking about what a 3,000 gallon tanker would cost us. We got an estimate from our one of our vendors, and we're looking at about $561,000. That's including a tanker truck that's 3,000 gallons. That would give us the needed relief for our I-20 corridor, as well as our some of our rural areas don't have hydrants. And this is just a trivia question for the panel. How many hydrants do we have in the county? Anybody?
7,023.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have about 7,000 plus hydrants in our county, and we'll need some extra help in terms of rural areas as it relates to water. So the tanker truck is definitely something we need to really look at from the financial piece. When we're doing the financial stuff, Ms. Bivens and Ms. Miller, Mr. Good, let's see can we quickly to get this needed equipment and take care of our citizens. And if we're able to do it, we can look at other options in terms of corporate purchasing agreement, other things we might take to go and make this reality. And then also this would help an ISO rating stuff. Any discussions, any questions on the new tanker? We're still working it, and hopefully we can make it a reality. Alrighty, well, moving on to item number 6 and 7, we have EMA update and E911 update. So we'll stand by for Mr. Milholland and Director Harley and one of our representatives.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
All right, we just, for emergency management, we just finished up our CERT team, community emergency response team training last week. The students enjoyed it. Even though it was a smaller class, we got to spend more time with the class, and they enjoyed the things we kind of go over with them. And we're looking to do another class pretty soon. We may look at a different model of what we've been doing before. Normally we advertise it, we get our Rick's team to kind of put it out in the community that we're hosting to hear people sign up for it. And one of the recommendations from one of the students this time is maybe, and we talked about it before actually, is maybe reaching out to the homeowners associations and bringing that CERT class to the homeowners association groups, and having them that way they have their own little team within their community if they're already active in that environment. We thought that may be a positive way to get some more people signed up, because it is a lot of work to put on the class for, especially when it's only a few students. So we just want to do the greatest good for the greatest amount of people. So we're going to kind of revisit that. Chief and I are going to work on some ideas to expand the program and like I say, bring some more assistance to the fire department, some of their needs to try to branch it out more than what it is now. Another thing, last week we emergency management and some other ones that participated in our Region N, which is our health, our medical area for EMS area with a tabletop drill over at in Cobb County. So we represent the county over, and that tabletop drill is a regional exercise tabletop drill. Went real well. We're going to build upon it in October. We're going to do a full scale. We're going to work with our hospital partners and bring in. We're going to try to assist them. We're going to bring the fire department on that one also with decon stuff at the hospital to help them and our folks with some decon if somebody has any kind of chemicals or any kind of where they have to go through hazmat decon. So it'll be a good partnership when we move on to the full scale in October. And other thing we're working on right now, this morning we hosted a class. The instructors from the high school public safety group, they came in and they're setting up an advisory committee for their group. They wanted industry professionals to help them with their program. And so we're going to start on the police department, fire department, sheriff's office, all and myself and 911 spoke with them, and we're going to work with them on ideas to help their program. And they can, we can also use them as an avenue to hopefully increase when the young folks get out of school to apply for some of these jobs and fill some of our positions locally. So we're going to really work close with them, and so we can maybe make some improvements in that, getting people out of high school getting them applying for these jobs that we have. Another thing we've done in the last month, we've gone out to actually to the high schools and talked to some of the high school groups about emergency management, and did actually some fire extinguisher training for one of the high schools classes, and they really enjoyed that. Other than that, just kind of still giving out PPE. We'll probably have to look at and see if we need to order some more. We've gone through about 20,000 masks. I didn't think we'd go through that many this year, but we've gone through about 20,000 since January. So I'm starting to run low on that. With the courthouse requirement, we've provided a bunch to the courthouse. So we're going to have to come up with work with the courthouse and see what we're going to do next. Because I think I'm down to about another 1,500 masks because we've gone through so many. That's about it.
Thank you, Mr. Mahala. Is anybody in for E911?
Yes, I'm here. Director Donnell. I've got, good afternoon, first of all.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Nice to see everybody. For the month of August, 911 processed 12,126 calls. We also had 24 texting sessions, which included 177 text messages. We also had 2 new hires that started today. We are also currently in the process of testing with another group of 31 applicants, and we will be advertising again September 21st through the 28th and taking applications in person on the 24th at September Saturdays in conjunction with HR. They will be collaborating with us and enable us to go ahead and administer our initial typing tests and have people on site go ahead and fill out background criminal history forms while they're on site. So we're excited about that process. Director Harley and I are 1 month out from having attended the International APCO conference. APCO is the Association of Public Safety Communications Officers, and this week she will also be a guest speaker instructor at the Georgia APCO workshop that's in North Georgia, and she is speaking and teaching on compassion fatigue. We have begun integrating our duties and responsibilities so that no one person is the holder of all the information, so that we have continuity of operations. It's very important. And unfortunately, we currently have 2 people out with COVID. And I also had in my notes to mention the high school public safety group, and we are, as 911, we're definitely wanting to participate with that group to help recruit as they graduate high school and hopefully enter a public safety field and maybe progress through 911 and then into the police officer onto the road once they turn 21. And that's my update for 911.
Thank you. Any questions for 911?
Keep up the good work.
On the ball.
Thank you.
Our next item is, ambulance billing, and this is really some good news. This is great.
Great.
Listen, can you go with that, as well as taking the, wet down, wash down, the Blaze newsletter, followed by Jody Newton for the August events?
Yes, sir, I can. Good afternoon, everyone. For the month of August, for our ambulance billing, we had a total of 1,699 responses. And out of those responses, we had a total of 901 transports, averaging about 55 calls a day. We pulled in over $300,000 for the month of August, which gives us a current total revenue of $2,120,202 for our ambulance billing, which is a 17% increase for the month of August. Does anybody have questions about our billing?
That's great. 17% increase. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward with the wet down and push in for Station 6. This event will be on Friday, September 23rd, starting at 2 p.m. at Station 6. And if anyone's not familiar with Station 6, that is in the Palmer Village / tributary area, right off of Riverside Parkway. This event will entail a wet down and push in ceremony with Commissioner Robinson of District 2. We are expecting to release the save the date flyer this Friday, September 9th, on all social media platforms. Did anyone have questions about this event for our new Engine 6?
It's September 23rd.
Yes, ma'am. Friday, September 23rd.
Okay.
At 2 p.m. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem. And moving along with the Blaze newsletter, all of our monthly issues are located on our county websites at celebratedouglascounty.com. It is under services, fire emergency services in the Blaze newsletter section. We also post our newsletter on our Facebook page, and our latest issue for the month of August is on there. Our newsletters have a lot of information, such as important information from E911, EMA, our deputy chiefs, EMS chief, and so forth. We have several events we did in August, and we did recognize several different events as well, and our personnel in the month of August. So check out our latest issue. And that is all I have for ambulance billing, wet down pushing for Station 6, and the Blaze newsletter.
Very good.
Thank you. Any questions for Melissa? I mean, y'all can see we're on the ball. We have a lot going, and we enjoy what we're doing. Which leads to our August events for Ms. Jody. Do you have anything, Ms. Jody, for August events?
Yes, I do have one citing event that we had on August 11th. Lori North received a full ride scholarship from the Waldorf University. Lori won this scholarship that was called the Hero Behind the Heroes Scholarship, honoring her father. She has decided to do a bachelor's degree in communications. And then we also had where EMS Chief Stacy Farmer on August 22nd gave an interview with 11 Alive discussing non-emergency 911 usage, and like she had already talked about, the wall times that we have to hold. And I believe that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Jody. Any questions, Ms. Jody? This is a record meeting. Normally we we've been trending at 2 hours. We've done this thing in 56 minutes.
I know.
Put a lot of information out, a lot of great information. And I will turn it back over to Madam Chair at this point.
Chief, if you could, on the new tanker, did you have a special date that the tanker's coming in, or?
The tanker truck or
Tab number 5 on the new business, you had new tanker.
Oh, yeah, the new tanker. That was, for discussion on finding getting the funding set up so we can go ahead and move forward with that. I think Ms. Bivens and Ms. Rosalind, when they come back next week, we'll be able to, and David, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll have some room to see what we can do as far as that new tanker. I'm working my end to work with a vendor that has dealt with us on our vehicles like that. We just need to get that firm commitment. I think we're working on behind the scenes, David, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we have to end up finding out exactly how much, that we do have, in order to move forward, especially with the increasing price for fire station number 9. But if we have anything when it comes to reimbursables, then that can go towards both the fire station and also to the tanker. So, we still have some finagling to do. So, once we come back with those numbers, we should know something.
And we do have we've done the research and have that 3,000 gallon truck, and we're just trying to make sure that we can get it secured for us so we can pick it up. We'll know something next week in terms of the actual funding path for it. It looks pretty good. Everything looks good.
All right, sounds good. Okay, any other discussion from any of the other committee members? Okay, there's no discussion. Fire Chief, this is a very good, productive meeting. Again, let's keep up the good work. And it seems like our openings for personnel are beginning to shrink. I think at the beginning of the year, we had 40 openings. We only have 12 now, right? Chief?
Ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Excited about those openings.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Everybody else, numbers are going up and ours are coming down.
That's good.
We're happy about that. It's a good place to be, good county to live in, good place to work. Thank you, citizens.
I know. So if there's nothing else to come before this committee, this meeting is adjourned, and have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.